Friends, today is a sketch and chat. I've got my current sketchbook here and I'm just going to fill a page, answer some questions. At the time of recording this, we had a live audience asking questions. But if you have questions, get into the comment section and yeah, you'll see real fast how awesome this community is. Let's do this. All right. So this is fun. I'll show you. Patreon challenge this month. Got to keep it kind of on the DL, but because it's Patreon, special for the members. But we did a fun little thing. We designed our own pins and patches. So this is one I finished yesterday. I had this on Instagram. Over the weekend, I went to my best friend's mom's 80th birthday. She has significant dementia, but it was such a cool day. And these were the flowers from the day. I did the flower arrangements and all the things, but it was a really lovely day for all of us and for her. So I wanted to remember the day. So I did a little page and I used highlighters. I used like wax highlighters and normal highlighters. I don't even know if I don't know, they're kind of waxy feeling highlighters. And that's such a good point that I think is important to reiterate. I've said it before and I'll say it now again, is that don't be precious about making art, whether it's in a sketchbook, whether it's maybe originally intended to be a more final piece on a separate watercolor paper. Don't be precious. Are these highlighters light fast? No, but they're in my sketchbook. So like, it's all good. All right. I was sitting down last night. It was late. I wanted to finish this page. I felt the need, the urge, whatever you want to say, to finish this page, but I didn't want to get up. And I was at my computer desk. I was not at my art making desk. And I was like, well, just the heck with it. I kind of said another word in my head. I said to myself, I'm going to use what I got. And I opened my desk drawer and that's what I had. I had some highlighters. I had some paintbrushes, but I had some highlighters. So I used the highlighters instead of getting up, potentially getting distracted, because I am so easily distracted, y'all. I decided to stay put and use what I had. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is this technique. I finally think I've figured out a name for it, just because I like to apply names to things because it helps me remember the technique. It helps me remember the process. It's just how my brain works. People have asked me over the years, why do you rename a technique when it already has a name? Like I call charging ombre. Or no, I call charging in watercolor flooding, because flooding makes more sense to me, kind of a thing. Yeah. So I think I'm going to call this thing that I do cluster sketching. Cluster sketching. And it's I've talked about them as like creating these like memory maps, whatever, but the actual technique is like I'm clustering together these sketches. And these are some examples of them. And I love that. So that could help you maybe remember the technique where I'm just popping together different things, right? Another thing I want you to notice just from a couple of pages in this new sketchbook is that my technique, my level of detail is constantly changing, not evolving, changing, constantly changing. This one's super loose. It has a lot to do with the pen I was using. If anybody want to like take a screenshot of this and do a Google Lens search, I never got to do it because we still can't figure out what brand this is. Anybody want to do that for me? Here, take a screenshot if you're on your phone, do a Google Lens search, and then come back to us and let us know what this is. All right. This page was done with this brush pen, and this is a very soft, springy brush pen. And then this page was also done with that. This page, however, was done with the Pentel, what's this called? Tradio, Pentel Tradio. So more controlled. It has more of like a nib style tip. that isn't as flexible. So, you know, don't feel like your sketches have to be the same all the time. I'm always making different kind of marks, totally different kind of marks, depending on what I'm using. So I almost feel like I want to do another one. No, I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I'll keep working on this page. So this page was a fun combination of green from this touch pen. I think this was also, I talked about these in another live. Also Pentel, let me just verify that. Yep, Pentel Touch. Really enjoyed this, and also enjoy it because it is somewhat water soluble. Whatever's in it, let me show you. Let me show you. Actually, let me just pick up some of it from over here and see if I can, yeah, look, I can spread it out over here, but it's very controlled, especially since I laid down this green in these bigger negative space areas last night. So I'm not going to get as much of it out, but I love pens that have double duty. I love sketching with a pen that can release its color as well as give me a controlled stroke mark if I want it. And I can keep lifting here. I kind of like that fading into the white daisy petals. Mrs. Downey, that is my best friend's mom's name. She loves daisies so much. Oh, I love that fade. Now I'm just kind of scumbling. So pretty. Oh, I like that. I need to do some of that down here now. Just blending it out. Look at that. So Pentel Touch. I'm going to try to get them in the Amazon store. Let me write myself a little note. That's what I have to start doing after these lives, because I never remember to go back and put the links that I was like, yeah, I'm going to get you that link. I never remember. It's just not the way my brain works. Now, I also used the Tradio in here, and the Tradio, look at it, releases color very easily. So that's another thing to think about when you're choosing your sketching pen. Think about how much release of color, pigment or dye, whatever it is that you're willing to tolerate. What is your personality seeking out at that moment? Because sometimes I just don't feel like all of the smudginess, right? I'm definitely feeling it right now, and I'm dry brushing it out right now, which I'm loving. Very little water on my brush right now, and I'm dry brushing it out into nothing. Like a nice fade there. Isn't that fun? Oh, happy camper. You're working on the pin and badge challenge. Awesome. Friends, I do have a Patreon. There's a link below if you want to sign up. 7-day free trial. You can check it out. You can see what the pin and badge challenge is all about. But our $9 tier is our most popular. It is so value packed. And this is what you'll get. Listen up if you're interested in my Patreon. Oh, hello, Emski. Umski. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Let me know. With the nib or nib like. Melissa, this is the pen that's nib or nib like. It's almost like there's a split here, but there's really not. There's like a little divot here. Let me see if I can get it to focus. And then this tip feels like it's being delivered ink, and it flexes, but it's not felt tipped. And this is the one where it's not terribly planet friendly, because this entire thing gets replaced, because I think this nib wears itself out pretty easily. Yeah. But that is the Pentel, sorry, the name is here, Tradio, Pentel Tradio. Also in my YouTube, or hi, also in my Amazon storefront. No exact match yet on the Google Lens for this pen. Oh, interesting. Now I got it in a shop, in a stationery shop that's under the Louvre. I don't remember the name of it, but the Louvre has a mall underneath it. So here's, if you want to be a detective, a little sleuthing, go look at the store list for the shops under the Louvre, and it's a stationery store. I got it in there. They had it behind the counter, and I saw it, and I was like, I need that. Oh, wait. Abby says it's the Acacia SWAT 01 on Amazon. Stop. Can only find it on US Amazon. Oh, Abby found it. Okay, hold on. I'm getting my son's phone so I can bring this up. Okay, so it is Acacia. Y'all, I'm going to add it to my Amazon store if I can, because y'all have asked me about this again and again. And let me just show you again the kind of mark it makes. Did this one with it. I did this one with it. But you can see I did finer pressure with this one. All right, lighter pressure, same pen. Heavier pressure, same pen. Now I need to go get it in my shop. Same pen. Yes, same pen. Because this one, the Tradio, actually leaves more of a dry brush texture. And then Jennifer just commented on another one of my favorites, which is the Pentel Sign Pen, which is this baddie. So I'm going to go ahead and use that too. These are all pens I've talked about today. And then I also pulled this one out, the Tombow Mono Drawing Pen, because I haven't used it in a while. Let me see if I have anything else in here that I should use. I've got a pink one of those touch pens. All right. So let me see if I can get that up. It's the Acacia. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. Yo. Okay. This is it. New hairbrush. 10 Hay Dream, a brush pen with a beautiful template pattern that uses Nara brush method. I don't know what a Nara brush method is. These, okay. This though it's very expensive. I did not pay. I got a set for 35 euro. I got this 6 pen set for 35 euro. So y'all, I would definitely, I mean, if you want to spend the 17 on it, it's obviously being imported. I'm wondering if like Jet Pens or pens.com would have it better priced. But I do not like that price for you. I would get, if you want a similar hand feel and mark making ability, get the Pentel Sign Pens. It's already in my store, my Amazon storefront. Yeah, but woo, we found it. We found it. Well, Abby found it. All right, I'm going to keep sketching on this page. I'm going to keep using my Tradio and chatting about this. So now I did the cluster sketching, right? And this one I'm not really mapping out of memory, right? I'm not at all mapping out of memory in terms of like, I don't have different spots here, different structures, different elements, and I'm not taking notes. I just have this happy birthday, Mrs. Downey, which will help me remember why I created the page with the random flowers. These were the flowers in her arrangement. In fact, you want to see the arrangement? It's on its last legs. But ooh, I can sketch this ranunculus. But oh gosh, yeah, it's definitely on its last legs because she stinks. But there she is. Isn't she gorgy? In fact, let me just snip off this ranunculus because I want to draw her. Actually, I'll just pull her out. And I'm not going to touch the peony because she is falling apart. But look how lovely she still is. Don't throw your flowers out too early. Don't, because they get more and more graceful and whimsical looking as they die. Just saying. All right, so I'm going to add the ranunc for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, stinky flower water. I'm going to add the ranunc. The ranunc. I'm gonna just do, so I'm going back to my, this one, Tradio. So anyway, what I was saying though, I have just a central note and I'm just doing more of the cluster sketching around. So it's not a true memory map as I have presented it before. And I'm just gonna you know, I've got the ranunc in one hand and the pen in the other. And I'm going to just start sketching. I'm just choosing a space that kind of feels like I have enough room. Now let me talk to you about how I sketch ranunculus because they are a pain in the tahoots. I have found that this particular way of doing it is really helpful. Let me zoom in a little more. Okay. We start with a little circle in the middle, and then I start going around. Watch this closely. Going around, whoop, more pressure, around, and then I hit a point and I come back around, but not the full distance. And then I go around again, hit another point and come back. It's like a zigzag, a very organic zigzag. And I keep the space in between each zig and zag kind of close together. See what I'm doing? Does that make sense, y'all? See, this tip is failing because I'm halfway through the this refill and I can feel the tip kind of starting to get junky. So that makes sense why the refill includes a tip. So you can see how that makes sense for the ranunculus. Sketching is hacks. Sketching is cheat codes. I mean, honestly, art, singing, all of it, painting, sketching, it's all cheat codes. And I'm telling you, I tick off people by saying that I'm somehow making the art form, the craft, whatever, less elevated, but I don't care because if it helps you make art that you love, I don't care how we got there. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. Now I feel like we need a little gouache. Anybody with me? Anybody with me? A little gouache, a little Charvin gouache. Now that I said that, I'm not gonna be able to find my Charvin gouache. Oh, but I did. I did find it. So here's the thing. Also with sketching, let let your brain run wild. If you have a moment where you're like, oh, I want to add gouache to this right now, then do it for the love. Don't worry that, like, you know, well, I'm supposed to be sketching, aren't I? Who cares? Who cares? I'm going to squeeze a little bit of this into my palette, let it cure up in the palette. So I have it. This is Charvin. I still need to reach out to them about being a supplier. I would love that. That'd be great because they have the most delightful, like, candy colors of wash and watercolor. All right, and that one. I pulled out the liner brush, but that was not a good choice. I'm going to grab my cat's tongue from the Art for Joy's Sake set and get in there with it a little bit. I've just got it on my top 24 convenience color palette, mixing it. I can show you here. And I'm going to let it cure up there because these are two colors that I know I'm going to love. So I've got it right in that well, put it right over top of some old watercolor. Who cares? And I'm mixing the two. I'm not thoroughly mixing. This isn't baking. We don't have to thoroughly mix. And now remembering, however, that this particular pen bleeds easily. So I'm going to try to stay away and I'm not going to use a lot of friction. I'm just going to go in and add little dabby doos, get in, get out, get her done. And I can already see it releasing some of that black ink. So I'm going to rinse often. That is my approach now. And I'm going to try not to have a lot of water on this brush. So rinse often. So I think that's something we forget to do, or we don't even think to do, is to anticipate the limits of our supplies that we're choosing to use. Just it could literally be 4 or 5 seconds where you pick up something, you're like, okay, I know that this pen bleeds easily, or okay, it bleeds easily, so maybe I need to rinse more. And okay, so make sure I have clean water and go. It's as easy as that. Anticipate your supplies limitations before you start. Anticipate your supplies limitations. That makes sense? Give me a yes if that makes sense. Give me a heck yeah if that was a breakthrough for you. All right. Then I'm just going to go squeegee out. We don't want to waste any. Rinse my brush. And that is enough for right now. Actually, I lie. I'm going to grab a little bit more of that lighter peach And just go in here because technically the flower hits back here between these two leaves. Let me get a little bit of that brighter coral. Technically hits back there. It's a good opportunity to make that not look so gray and murky back there. All right, we have some cool recommendations here. Erica says, for anyone wanting a brush pen with a Michaels near them, I just picked up a clearance Pentel color brush with black ink that's waterproof when dry, but can be dipped in water just fine. That's dreamy. Oh, hold on. A Pentel. Do I have some? I wonder if I have that. I don't think I do. I'm not going to look for it right now, but that's a wonderful recommendation. Thank you so much, Erica. Love that. Elevated schmelevated, right? Yeah, I love that you spelled that out. Oh, Jackson's has the Acacia Koto, which looks really similar to this, I think is what you're talking about. Interesting. I might have to grab it just to see. Christiane says the Pentel pocket brush cartridges come in a pack of 3. Yes. Same with my Tradio. They came in a pack of 3, and I have that in my Amazon storefront as well. Coolio. And you know what, too, I want to say, is this looking murky? Absolutely. Do I care? No. Do I hate it? Absolutely not. Am I totally in love with it? No. But all that mixed together gives me kind of a reasonably joyful cupcake that I'm happy to eat. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you have to approach this stuff. You have to lower your expectations a little bit. Don't have such big, high expectations for your finished results, whether it's in a sketchbook or not. Okay. Oh my gosh, Darlene, stop. I'm not usually able to sketch anything, and I just sketched that with no problems. Can we get a heck yes in the comments? Let's just cheer on Darlene because that's incredible to hear. Heck yes for Darlene. Yeah. Heck yes in the comments. Y'all, that's incredible. Seriously. Thank you for sharing that. Love it. Love it. If you're having a good time, friends, don't forget to hit the like button. That's a boop here in watercolor land. I would love for you to boop if you're having a good time. It helps my channel, to be terribly honest. It helps this replay get found. It helps the live currently get found. All that sorts of stuff. So if you could give the video, if you could give the video a boop at this moment, I would be so grateful. So let's talk about what I'm doing here, because this is another little technique, and maybe I should finally give it a name. I'm going to give it a name, carving. We're carving out some negative space whilst outlining. So let's talk about carving. It's when I have my sketch a little more evolved, or a lot more evolved. I've covered a significant amount of the page. I will go back into elements, like let's look right here. I might go in between, say, this leaf and the one underneath, and really they run right into each other, but maybe I don't want them to. Maybe I want there to be like a little stem on this leaf. I'll go in and I'll carve out and then fill in what I carved. And then I might go in and do a little partial incomplete kind of dotted type outline, almost like a little dash dot of different lengths. You see what I did there? If you didn't see, my folks on replay, rewind, take a look at what it looked like before I touched it, and then fast forward, and you can, I think you'll see it a lot easier. I'm gonna go over here and just refine that edge a little bit, and see? And then I can even go in and carve into the daisy a little bit. Can do that over here as well for a little bit more contrast. So try your hand at carving. It is extremely satisfying, because, hear me, because at this point in your sketchbook page, or even in your finished artwork page, okay, whatever it is, at this point you've established scale, composition, overall style. This carving stuff, this carving technique that I'm talking about, is just gravy. You don't have to make a ton of decisions. You definitely don't have to make as many decisions as you had to make along the way in establishing everything to this point. This is a Pentel Tradio pen. It is not a watercolor pen, but as you can see here, it significantly releases its ink once you re-wet it or once you wet it. All right, so we're going to do a little more carving. I'm just going to look around and see where I might want to carve. Carving is great for just adding contrast and not really changing the composition, but carving can also edit the composition. Right now, I'm going to actually carve by adding a leaf, and then I'm going to fill it in with a little cross hatching, which is just parallel lines, cross hatched, intersected by more parallel lines. And then I'm going to fill in here, cut back in. I want this daisy to pop a little more, so I'm carving into it. Remember, rewind if you're missing it. If you're not really seeing what I'm doing or the results of what I'm doing, rewind and check it out. All right. Little carving. Where else do I want to do some carving? Anybody have any suggestions of where else I should do some carving? Shout it out in the comments. Shout it out. Let me know. I'm going to add a little here at the underside of my Coral Charm peony. And I'm literally now just using this as like a coloring instrument, right? Going down here and letting it fade, letting that black intensity kind of go from full coverage to not full coverage from here to here, kind of creating like an ombre effect, because I don't want to lose all of this green. I mean, why would I? But look at how it starts to pop. I'd suggest rewinding again at this point and look at where we were full visual to where we are now full visual. Daisy, top right where it's half green. You got it. You got it. Let's do some fun stuff in here. Now, you can carve with color blocking, like filling in, like I did here and here and here, but you can also carve in with more detail. So I'm going to actually carve right now with some just linear, viney stuff. Watch me. I created a stem. And then I'm just doing simple teardrop leaves off of the stem, but I'm staying within this washy green background of the daisy. I'm not interrupting over the daisy. Now at the base of that little vine, I'm going to do the full kind of color in just up to the first two leaves. Is this making sense? Type Y if this is making sense. If it's not, please ask me to clarify the technique. I am here for you. All right. Now I feel like going down here and doing a little bit of scratchy, detailed, bouncy, loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loo, and then going back and just giving that daisy center a lot more contrast. I think I did too much, but that's okay. And then let's go up here and do another vine and work from that little leaf at the base. A couple more, and then a little fill in at the very base to refine that daisy petal shape. And by doing that here, I'm refining left and right petals. Oh, fun. Yes, Jennifer, dramatic change immediately. I'm going to do a little more. Come right up and go right into the fill in, and then a few little more delicate, not traditionally delicate petals, but all right. And then you might decide, you know what, to heck with the vine. I just want to color in around those leaves. And you can try it. And I'm already seeing that I'm losing too much of the leaf, so I'm just going to leave it right like that. I like it. I like it where I left it, though. I got to be honest. So I want you to try the carving, y'all. I want you to try the carving on your next piece. So you'll start with a central note. Maybe you heard a quote that you loved. Write that down in the middle. And then I want you to start cluster sketching around it. I don't care what it is. Go for a walk and look at some wildflowers and weeds growing. Take a couple pictures, come back and use those as reference. or just remember them and use the memory of them as reference. Cluster sketch, add some color, add some washes, and then start carving. All right. Now, for my visual learners, hold the phone. I got you. For my visual learners, you know I love to do this. You know I love to do this. I love to have this. Okay, so this is our sketchbook page idea. Prompt, whatever you want to call it. All right. So you're going to add phrase or quote to the middle in your handwriting, or I don't care if you want to collage, cut out things from a magazine. All right. You're going to cluster sketch around the phrase. All right. Then you're going to add some color. Whatever your instinct is telling you. All right. Now, make sure you anticipate the limits of your medium. Your supply, whether it's your pen, your marker, your watercolors, your gouache, whatever. Anticipate its limits based on what you know of it. Okay. And you know what? If you've never used it before, then it's just, willy-nilly, balls to the walls. Who cares? Just run with it. Have fun. I shouldn't have said that second phrase here on the tubes, but whatever. You never know what you're going to get here. So number 4, I want you to add some washes. So that might be just pulling some color, reactivating some color from what you've already laid down with a marker or a pen, or it might be just bringing in some very watered down watercolor and washing it in. All right. And then you're going to carve in some detail. This is, if you want to kind of explore what I've done here on this page, these are the steps. If you want to go ahead and take a screenshot, save it on your phone, start a little sketching inspiration album on your smartphone, do it. There it is. All right. Cool EO. Awesome, awesome. So I'm just going to continue here. Let me know your questions. Make sure you put a couple question marks in front of them. I'm going to continue carving. I think I'm actually going to carve right in here, solid, because I like how this is almost turning into a wreath. And I think that's a really important thing to realize, is that as your piece evolves, it is going to reveal things to you. As your art piece revolves. As your art piece evolves, it will reveal itself to you. The composition will start to reveal itself to you even further. And you may at that point decide you want to make some changes. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to say, friends, if you're enjoying this, I am currently, at the time of this live, I am working on a sketching video. It's probably going to be pretty controversial. I'll be honest. So stay tuned. If you're not a subscriber and you're watching this, please subscribe so you can check it out. But it is going to address the question I get asked several times a week regularly, and that is, do I need to know how to sketch to be my best at watercolor? All right. And I bet you a lot of our OGs here know the answer as a spoiler alert. Okay. But you're going to want to check it out. I think it's going to be what I've done of this video already at the time of recording this has been super fun, invigorating for me. And so my hope is that it will be the same and more for you. So. All right, I'm continuing to carve. Now I see a really straight line kind of happening here that I'm not loving. So I'm gonna carve a little bit of black here, and I will show you kind of the marks that I'm making closer up so you can get a sense. Sometimes I'm doing a full fill in, where the ultimate goal is full fill. All right, full fill. All right. But then often I'm doing something like this, where I'm literally scratching all different directions. It's almost like I'm creating very lazy stars on top of one another, over and over and over and over, very lazy, over and over and over and over. This is great because watch, you can darken, go over and over and over more, and then blend out to less over and over and over, and less and less and less. And you can literally create an ombre with your scratchy, scumbly marks. Kaylin is suggesting more carving near the bottom right heart. Bottom right heart. Where is the bottom? Here? This one? Yeah. I kind of like, it's like I couldn't decide. Was it a petal? Was it a heart? I'm gonna do a little more here. And we're gonna make a decision. Make it a little more obvious, because that heart was not super obvious. Something like that. And then, I don't know, maybe define that petal a little more. A little bit more. Anyway, I need to unstraighten this line. So I'm going to interrupt into that phrase area of the sketch with some viney stuff, and then just come out from it. I don't want to lose that H. So I'm just some of that scratchy, lazy star stuff going on. Blend it out, blend it out. So solid here, scratchy here, blend it out into just vines. And I think that, yep, that did the trick. It got rid of that really harsh straight line that was kind of manifesting itself. I need to do a little bit of that here. Just a little though, I think. I'm going to scratchy, bring down some black. And I think that might have done the trick there. It's like it needs a little more, but I also don't want to lose the M. I don't want to lose the M, so I think I'm going to have to leave that. I mean, I'm already kind of losing the M. Christine says, Christy, ask about Patreon and how it works. Can I still join up? I'm from the UK. Can you send an email explaining about it? Purchase the stamping kit, brush sets, paint palette, set empty palette, and your books. Okay. Christine, what I need you to do is, I will talk about Patreon in just a few moments, a little bit for everyone's sake. But Christine, if you want a shipping estimate to the UK before you go, I mean, when you put stuff into the checkout, it should give you a shipping estimate. But you could also, like, if you just want a little more information, you want to ask some questions, email hello@christyrice.com. Ask Kristen. Say, hey, Kristen, I was on Christy's live and I have some questions about getting stuff shipped to the UK, and just ask her your questions. She's fantastic. She'll get right back to you. So Patreon, the way it works is everybody who signs up initially, it's a 7-day free trial. There's a link in the description that you can just go ahead right now and check out. When you sign up for the trial, you do have to put in your credit card information. And I always say, just put it in your calendar on the 7th day to decide, or even the evening of the 6th day to decide whether or not you're staying on board, so you don't get charged again if you don't intend to stick with it. But our most popular tier, there are only 3, is $9 a month. We have a $1.50 tier, and then we have a one-on-one tier that is, I think it's $125 a month. But you can sign up for the $9 tier a month. You can also opt to do the discounted rate, pay it all up front, and you're going to save 20%. All right. And what you're going to get in that Patreon membership, once a month, I do a 90-minute live stream where you get to submit questions ahead of time, and I answer those questions. And I also answer new questions live. So you're going to get access to that. You're going to get one exclusive video tutorial download a month. No fuss, no muss, no music, just pure instruction. of varying lengths. You're going to get one short video a month. That is your creative challenge for the month. So you may have heard people talking about the badge and pin challenge. That was the month of May's challenge. And I am just still carving here, friends. I'm going to put this here while I carve. So as a reminder, you're going to get access to all our sales first. So for example, we put the palette on sale yesterday as a surprise. The new empty palette, it didn't even launch yet, and we put it on sale, and our patrons got access to it first. So Kristen did not send me those links yet, but yeah. So, oh yes, she did. No, she didn't. Daggone it. She didn't see it yet because she's working hard on something. That's why. So you're going to get access to all of our sales first. And oh, you're going to get watercoloring page downloads once a month as well. They can be anything from just a coloring page that you a watercoloring page that you print and have fun with, to a reverse coloring page or pages. Sometimes it's multiple pages in one month. This month's challenge, I showed an animation of me sketching a peony to kind of visually show the breakdown of how I sketched the peony. And then the watercoloring page for May was a finished peony if you didn't want to bother with the sketching. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Jennifer, you have the whole collection. Wonderful. It's looking pretty black and bleak and losing its cheerful, colorful joyness. Oh, I don't know. I like where it's going because I felt like I wanted more contrast, but that's okay. That's okay. We all have our own kind of, you know, approach and threshold for adding this kind of detail. So, what was I going to say about Patreon? Oh, yes, to my existing members. And while I talk about this, I'm going to show you a couple more kind of marks that I make, crosshatch. To my existing members, as many of you know, and you were there last week, I promised you an extra live for the month of May. We're clearly running out of days of the month in May, so you're going to get that extra live in June. So just watch out on the Patreon feed for that. This is stippling, little dots, stipple, stipple, stipple. So you can do a cluster, closer together cluster of dots. All right. Closer together. And then less close together as you go out. And that's going to give you kind of that shading ombre effect. So, yay. All right. So I get you though, Melissa. I get you. It is getting dark. So great point to Melissa's comment is step back from your piece. Even if you have to set a timer for every 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, knowing yourself, step back and get some perspective. Because I might have done some things differently. I'm not sure I would have. I don't know. I'm not sure about what I did here, but it's okay. And the other thing is to remember as well, you can let this dry overnight, let's say, or even a couple of days, let it kind of cure. And then you could bring in some bleed proof white, knowing the limitations of your supplies, knowing that adding moisture to any spot on here is going to lift some color. So use a light hand. I'm going to just show you, even though I haven't let it cure at all. You can come back if you feel like you've made an oopsie and you've gone too far with the carving. You can come back. Like I could go here. I'm going to just do some dots because I don't want the color to reactivate. And I think dots are the least amount of friction. You could add some white dots to brighten that area back up. Same thing here. You could add some white dots, bigger to smaller, light pressure for those small dots. You could add that in. All right. Boop, 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 boop. and soften the impact of some of the carving potentially. And this is the point where I like to mention it's push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. Is it a purist approach to watercolor? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Step back. Don't, maybe you know yourself. I know myself. I can go overboard really quick. This felt dreary up here to me from the moment I started laying down the ranunculus. So I'm going to add some white back into the leaf area and see what that does. Step back. Oh, yeah. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to make these winter berries of some sort. I think there is actually a white berry that is available in the winter in most parts, and I forget what it's called. I think it might be called winterberry. Ooh, yeah. I might actually just make up a berry there and outline it later. Same thing down here, a little smaller berry. And right now, especially if you're new here, I'm just kind of free painting and walking you verbally through my process. All right. I like that. And then you might decide to add more of that somewhere. I'm feeling like I want to break this up over here now. I'm going to add some more berries. Maybe I'll outline them later. Maybe I won't. So again, this composition is revealing itself to you. And yes, maybe it's revealing itself to you because you had to correct a quote unquote mistake. But who cares? If you like what it's revealing, who cares? All right, here we go. I thought we were going to do the tattoo type look. I mean, this is tattoo-ish, just finer lines. Finer lines for sure. Yeah. I mean, really, that's the only difference. Great comment, because that makes me think if you wanted more of a tattoo style, like an old, like 50s, 60s tattoo style, just thicker lines, more pressure, yeah, would give you that look. And not as much of the fine stuff, not as much of that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's more simplified, more edited. Yeah. And there it is, the brightness. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Melissa, for that train of thought. Super helpful. Love that. Love that so much. All right. Let's give you a little tour. Give you a little tour. I might even add some more highlights onto my ranunc up here going forward, but right now I just want it to dry. A little tour. And the phrase feels unresolved. That's okay. That's okay. That's just for me. This makes me want to play with ink. Nessa, yes. Gail. 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 Gail says she's not brave enough yet. But Gail, you are. The fact that you're even curious enough to want to try this on your own means that you are absolutely indeed brave enough. So just take that thought, what you just said that's on the screen. Take that thought and think of it as electricity, a current. And take that electricity, that energy, and put it into the first couple of strokes on paper. All right? Do that for me. Think of that. Like, my brain works easier if I have like a visual metaphor. So that sentence, three sentences. Those three sentences, turn that into energy on the page. I know I'm very woo-woo today. The sun is out. Can I just tell you? The sun came out. The sun came out today. And it's making me feel good because the sun has been a limited commodity lately. Now, speaking of, I want to show you a little bit more, and I have to be careful not to smudge this page. But so, Gail, listen, I'm going to give you some homework, friend. Seriously, I want you to see my face. Gail, I would love to give you some creative homework because I think that you need it. You need that little nudge. So, I'm not going to make you agree or confirm publicly, but I'm speaking to you, one artist to another. Find that energy in that statement and propel it into the first 15 marks on your sketch page and see what happens. 15. That's it. 15 marks. Okay? All right. All right. All right. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm making you laugh. Okay. I know I'm an absolute goofball. Okay. So this was my pin that I made, and it's a pin on like a backer card, and it's a stay awake pin. Seriously, because that's how dreary it's been here for 3 weeks. And it's the pin is called "The Sun May Not Come Out Tomorrow." Registered copyright by Adulting is Hard Co. That was one of my pins. Yeah, you gotta make yourself laugh. Gotta You just can never know if someone else is gonna make you laugh. So you gotta make yourself laugh and laugh at yourself because it's very healing. It's very healing to laugh at yourself. All right. So, friends, this has been an absolute blast. Don't forget all the things coming up. Don't forget all the things that are currently happening. So, currently happening, go grab that palette, friends. Check it out. If you're a patron, there's a whole post on the new palette that's available. It's $26. It's not officially launched yet. And I think at this point, we have under 40 left for this little mini drop. And then you're waiting until probably early at the way things are going. Coming up is the Palmstreet sale this coming, well, I should say next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So much cool stuff to get your creative juices going. All right. And with each sale, we're improving your experience. We're improving the way that we present you with these fun creative supply boxes and also making it easier for you to get inspired to use them. So this time around, we're including those curated playlists, which I think is fun because sometimes it can be like, I think Christy did a video about this, but good luck finding it because, here on the tubes, you've got to have like the cheeky, catchy titles and thumbnails. So good luck finding some videos that you remember watching in the past. Yeah, it's hard. So we're going to make it easy for you. And of course, join Patreon. 7-day free trial. It's in the description down below. And then you can decide if you're in. You can pay ahead for the year, save 20%. All right, friends, this was fabulous. I will see you. All the happy sketching. Yes, you can do this. Gail, tag me. I want to see what you're doing. Oh, Gail, you have the blind boxes. Awesome. I'm so glad you love them. All right, friends, I will see you later, alligator. This was a blast.